afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting, amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, of Chtholly 1 vs 1, owner, Lost Glider. In the north, it is 4S fighting for the Soviet Union, Socialism, Comrade Stalin, taking on the role here of the 2nd Guards, Mechanized Corps. In the south, it is Chtholly, fighting here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 4th SS Panzergrenadier Polizei, with German infantry chosen here versus tank hunter, Gart rifle, Gart motor, triple infantry bulletins on both sides. Grenadier MG42, double conscripts for 4S. The 4th SS Panzergrenadier Division Polizei was a bit of an interesting division, well, alongside a lot of the early divisions in terms of origins, because as the name hints, was actually formed up from police units. Specifically at the roughly around the sort of before the war began, some time before that, I think maybe around the time the war began, again can't quite remember, they basically found out they had a lot of awful policemen in the police, more than they technically didn't need a lot of able-bodied men, you know, for the frontline troops. So basically sort of a deal was struck where a bunch, you know, were kept sort of as police, some were sent to the army directly as recruits, some were sort of sent in to form security divisions, which are another type of unit, and then finally a bunch were sort of sent to the Waffen-SS to form up the 4th SS Panzergrenadier Division Polizei. So, little sort of fun note there. Triple console there for 4S. Good stuff so far in that sense. Probably could be indicating, well, I mean, Gart rifle, of course, easily work with this due to a lot of submachine guns, so quick tank hunter, and of course, there's also just Gart motor with mobilized reserves late games. I mean, you definitely got a lot more options now with conscripts and doctrines, really. But Grenadiers pushing for the engineers, trying to ward off the entrance to the church. Obviously, not quite as effective as you could do this in years, just quickly, effortlessly popped in, a bit awkwardly. Don't worry, Petrov, I wire these properly, then why can we enter? You see, 24 to this is constant, not looking good there for 4S. On the right hand flank is Chtholly strikes there. Constant moving up here for 4S there as well. Pioneers moving westwards. More Grenadiers on the way there for Chtholly and the German army here. Grenadiers need to be careful they don't get swarmed. There we go, quickly engaged. And there goes second squad either for Chtholly and the 4th SS. MG42 covering up here. Grenadiers moving up, comes with engaging as well. Bit of shooting there. 4th comes squad on the way there for 4S in the east. Before 2 men to pop in. They're pretty aggressive push there by for the eastern. Fuel point a bit risky here if 4S pops Molotovs, but on the other hand, no, my apologies, take up. See, if it does pan out, it could of course be quite effective if the Chtholly, since it could easily set up for a pin around the fuel point. But we can see here the 4S is quickly returning the favour here, much more efficient against Chtholly. In this regard, Chtholly may have overreached here versus 4S and the Soviets. There we go, MG42 forced to pull up, Grenadiers moving in here. We got triple Grenadiers squads out here for Chtholly and the German army. MG42 to the right about the conscripts, no sandbags there by the way. Bit of barbed wire as well, which makes it a bit harder just to pull straight for the victory point and just get out of there. So a bit of interesting wiring there. Mining up here by the fuel point there. Cheeky play there for us, but Chtholly's having none of that. And again, we can see Chtholly's really trying to just disrupt 4S's play, which is trickier to do as the Wehrmacht. It's not impossible, it definitely requires a skilled player. And I imagine versus a less skilled player could probably work out better. But 4S knows Soviets and obviously knows how to play the game. So Chtholly here, of course, may run into some issues. But still, I mean, overall, I don't say I'm against the idea, but it does require a bit more caution as the Wehrmacht, since your units tend to work a lot better together, and disruptive openings is thusly a bit trickier to deal, since you've got to operate your units a lot more loosely. I mean, again, if you can pull it off, though, it can be very effective, since you can suddenly pop up with an MG42 where your opponent isn't anticipating it and rather throw them off. But again, if you can't end up with these situations like you did here, it does, you know, end up with you losing a lot of ground swiftly. So it is something there worth keeping in mind. It is something worth keeping in mind before you try and do it as the Wehrmacht. You can do it, but again, don't expect a victory parade right away. We got takeoff there for 4S, the supporting company there, Maxims and Mortars. Natural counter to the Wehrmacht. Early game in some ways leaves with Mortars. Hang on, Basil, don't go biting my hand. It's not a chew toy, you fluffy little bastard. Ow, ow. Nor is it a scratching post. There we go. Again, we can see Chtholly's, though, is very, very focused on trying to disrupt 4S. Very trying to set up a pin here, very aggressively focused. This time a bit more, you know, organised towards it, rather than just sending one machine gun towards a one Grenadier squad, hoping that works out to get a slightly better combined arms formation there. Tech up not happening after Chtholly, that should be happening reasonably fast, either way. Possibly just to get out a fast 250 half tech. The like to shoot some Panzerwagen, and Guinea's moving up there for 4S. And we got Molotovs on the way there. Very good decision. In particular, the Wehrmacht Molotovs can be quite effective. MG42 needs to get out of there. Schnell. Lots of gunners engaging the conscripts though. Better damage there being inflicted. Seizing the fuel point there. There we go. Chtholly's initial plan finally succeeding. Finally pulling through there. And of course, for less, definitely in short, it did not come easy there to Chtholly and the Germans, the fascists. Take up halfway down there. Bunker up. All good. Vessel making some fuss by my feet. And these was engineers, bit of skirmishing there. Fuel pump being hit again there by Forrest, this time digging in with sandbags. Very good, good use of sandbags. Again, some players I think tend to neglect using sandbags when they're using conscripts, thus can find themselves struggling quite a bit. But sandbags, I'd say, are actually quite a big part of the conscripts. You know, sneak up in a position where opponents aren't expecting it, dig in with sandbags, and there you go. In fact, one thing we sort of read a lot, you know, stories from the Germans, particularly the frontline troops, one thing they'll be particularly keen on complaining about. Oh, snap! Merge the conscripts to save the flame for engineers. Wow, that's not something we see very often. There might have been something that happened a bit too fast here for Forrest. Either way, though, quite impressive in some ways. But one thing they'll sort of note about is how quickly the Surge were just sticking in rapidly, you know, setting up, you know, rudimentary defenses, dragging up support weapons and all that, and just making it harder for the Germans to counterattack. That's one thing they actually quite regularly complain about throughout the war. So that's a little sort of fun note there, actually, sort of to point out. And before up to deal with the conscripts there by the fuel point. Like to make a nice company up, no Panther gonna deal or anything like that, or 250 half-tack. Stormtroopers, of course, always a good option here. Particularly as all these conscripts, the Stormtroopers with MP40s could be quite effective. Maximum out there still. Getting rid of a conscript squad, even if it just means, you know, keeping the engineer squad alive is going to be hurting for us a bit there. And could maybe give Chtholly a bit more presence, because again now it's suddenly full gun. It is 1v42 versus 3 conscripts on the maxim. Okay, briefly consider 4, but that pops back there to 2 maxims instead, which of course can also work out nicely. It's using the Western victory point here. Lots of glorious back and forth action here. Quick Molotov against the gun. These need to pop out here swiftly, schnell as they would say. And we got the 2-2 out there for Chtholly and the 17th SS, which is a Panzer Grenadier division, would have had 3 Panzer Grenadier regiments, which, by the way, being Waffen SS, would have been larger than the Wehrmacht Panzer Grenadier regiments, which only had 2 battalions, but they had 3 battalions, meaning they actually had a lot of infantry. Little fun fact there. Oh wait, no, that's 2 battalions and an armoured battalion. I'm slightly mixing things up, I think. I'm thinking maybe of a Waffen SS infantry division, which also were very large, the few ones they had, but they didn't have a lot, and they were mostly composed, you know, of Eastern volunteers or something like that. I think the Estonians had 2 of them. Oh wait, they were large on average, and it's usually actually something that doesn't get talked about a lot in like books or movies, but like a Waffen SS Panzer Grenadier regiment was basically a battalion larger than the Wehrmacht equivalent, which usually meant they had more infantry to work with. It actually tends to play a large deal, you know, actual combat operations and so on there, but again, it just never gets talked about. I always find it a bit, you know, you'd figure they'd mention that, but again, you really got to read a lot of books to suddenly realise, hang on, those bastards operate with more infantry than the Wehrmacht. Which obviously in some cases can explain, help, you know, why the Wehrmacht, you know, of Waffen SS enjoyed greater successes, can also absorb some of those casualties they sort of pulled off with. So, little fun fact there. Again, I would say crucial. Comes they're being routed to the 2 Canadians doing some good work. Also got veteran squad leaders out here for Chtholly. So an improving firepower there. Durability and all such. Comes they're being routed. Pack 40 on the way there for Chtholly. The Panzer Abwehrkanone 40. Tripwire flare mines down there. Good spot there as well by Forrest. Good again harassment maneuver there. In fact, both of them are sort of handling it better. Of course, Chtholly now with the 2-2 to link up the units better can actually sort of afford these sort of initial aggressive tactics that was desired, but again couldn't, because you kind of lack that sort of glue, and the 2-2 and these sort of aggressive raid tactics can act like this glue. That were 250 half-track really. Still aggressive play there from both sides, looking to outmaneuver the other ones. It's not just, you know, either side looking to grind the other down like, you know, some sort of millstone. So I like that. That's usually good and interesting play, and sort of, you know, something worth commenting on. And definitely also something I feel like we're seeing a bit more of with the the recent patches there, so that's also just thumbs up from me too, in fact. Maximum the strength of the veteran Grenadier Squad there. Taking some fire there from G40 fleets and otherwise expertly led infantry. Comes there being routed. Comes there going straight for the 222. Grenadiers occupying the church here. That's going to make it harder here for Forrest to sort of weave out and sneak out. Back here, troops reinforcing. Interesting enough, I mean, we're only seeing so far the veteran squad leaders. Again, you don't always go for the 250 half check. It can be tricky in certain circumstances, but you know, it could always be a consideration. But storms will feel like usually a bit of a good investment. Otherwise, the idea probably should be at this point be to consider just to tech up, begin pulling for armor. Maximum occupying here, Grenadiers trying to get close, but even with the veteran squad leader, they're not going to have an easy time. And there you go, rifling it off here. Maximum already low health. T7 on the way there for Fortis, and the second Guards Mechanized Corps. Still no chose with Doctrine there. The longer the match carries on, the more likely it's going to be, I think, either Guard Rifle, Guard Motor. Tank Hunters already starting to look a lot less likely since you usually want that out sooner. Plus, by at least cutting out one constant sword for a Maxim, I also suspect it's less likely that one. So it's either Guard Rifle or Guard Motor at this point, though of course Guardsman would be a nice investment. So we'll have to see what it ends up with here. Troops reinforcing. MD-14 engaging in the centre, Engineers rally under the support by the Pioneers with their mighty Minesweeper. Ceasing back at the western fuel point, Grenadiers ground out to point here, Grenadiers remaining here in sort of holding positions, and there you go. Fordes has got the T-70 light tank out. Grenadiers are reinforcing healing. Big conscript push here, and Fordes has also, of course, got the MD-42. Note, of course, 2-2 working with MD-42 is quite a nice little combo there. As, of course, the 2-2 easily spots for it. Oh, mine went off there. Probably that was one of Fordes' mines. But there you go, T-70 again, Pack 40 can't easily respond. 2-2, yeah, that's not going to work out. Just going to have to retreat and get out of there fast. Or, I guess, try and get the Pack 40 over there in time. So that's going to be a bit risky there, but, you know, sometimes you got to risk it. Mac Cannons are going for the fuel point there, being suppressed with the Maxim. Almost got it. Could pop in setting up in times. There you go. Almost got it. The T-70 is going to go for it with the 2-2 conscript to have anti-tank grenades, but got the T-70. A notable blow there to Forrest. Anti-tank grenade off. 2-2 though is not in a good spot, but still losing the T-70 is pretty big there for Forrest now. That's a pretty big win for Chtholly as well. That is a lot of fuel and manpower just down the drain. And compared to, again, Chtholly has only spent fuel on the 2-2-2. That means Chtholly cannot easily take ahead here and push for medium armor, and Forrest is not going to be able to punish that efficiently. So right now, Chtholly should just be pressing that, you know, escalate to battle phase 2 button like it's, you know, prayer to God or something. I don't know. And they just shot pure Panther chocolate into Chtholly's veins. You get the idea. Press the button. Tech up. Get the Panthers. Crush the Marxists. There you go. Take up here for Chtholly. Engineers wiped out as well. Forrest is taking an absolute drubbing here at the hands of Chtholly and the 4th SS Panzer Grenadier Division Polizei. Striking again and again like the mighty jackboot of hitting again and again. Repetitive beatings. Grenadiers being rushed by conscripts. PPH-41s then engaging their quickly hitting the dirt here in the front of the Grenadiers. Falls on the way here. Grenadiers win the conscript close. Pioneers doing what they can here as well. Scorching through the Soviet infantry. Forcing a route there for Forrest again. And getting a white. Forrest right now is an absolute pit and abyss. Down to just 2 conscripts and 2 Maxims. This is horrific. This is a nightmare scenario for most, I think, Soviet players. The sort of stuff that's going to wake them up in the middle of the night. Going for another Maxim here. No field guns. That is pretty bold. I guess the only sort of blessing right now for Forrest is that Chtholly isn't meeting pushing with the Spalmer Corps, but could be doing that soon. So another Maxim. An interesting strategic move there for Forrest, but it's gone for Guard Rifle Combined Arms Tactics. You might have figured, you know, Guard Motor at this point, but no. Apparently Guard's Rifle. Of course, the Sat Machine is going to help the conscripts faster. Going to do what they can. Maxim from the south, from the north, plus conscripts, so that's triple Maxims. Forrest is going to need some anti-tank guns, whatever happens next. Right now, Chtholly is in a very strong position. Should consider laying down mines as well whenever possible once the pioneers are freed up from building stuff. Guards driving out there for 4S. More support weapons could also be a good idea. Maybe another machine gun or a mortar. And there's quite a few options there for Chtholly to consider as well, but always something to make it harder for 4S to sort of, launch counterattacks. This kind of thing going appreciated. East going to be pushing back the maximum there. So 4S is rallying with their sufficient valor here, and oh no, it's not immediately building. It's a tier 4 plant here by Chtholly, or was that just a mistake there? Because at this point, Chtholly could be easily pushing out a Panther for an Austria, and they go retreating, probably realizing, hang on, I should have been doing something else for those pioneers. A bit like, when you're out and you think, oh no, I forgot, I left the stove on. In this case, I didn't build my support core. On this case, I suppose you feel, oh my, I just, got a game of Company 2 running back home. I probably should finish that before heading out for, tea and biscuits with my friends. Heading for the Eastern fuel point again. Good aggressive flow there by 4S, even as he suffered staggering casualties. He bounces back like a bounty castle caught in the wind, flowing away there with a bunch of kits haplessly caught in it. Maxim sitting out there. Support core, there we go, going off of Chtholly. Can push for Panther Force. Could also try and push out double Austrians. That would be a bit ballsy, but that could also maybe just finish the things right then and here. Guys in the center here being suppressed. Going to these flank out with the Maxim, very good. Where then he's got a controversy going to these here. Old squads now being upgraded with veteran squad leaders there. There you go. The Maxims are definitely making it harder here for Chtholly to use the veteran grenadiers easily, and we got take up here for 4S. No by-way field guns. This pushing straight here for the mechanized armor company. A bold strategic move there. Probably sort of partly born out of desperation. Probably figuring that if he ends up stalling any further, he might just get crushed. So he needs to sort of push for something. Could possibly very well be the K1. He's going to try and somehow get out, because when sort of get the K1 out, the Panther Forces are going to lose a lot of the value very fast, since they do not handle K1 tanks very well. Pack 40 opening up here. Going to be flanking up behind the Maxim, ground the western point here. Oh, forgot to build it. 4S, you left the stove on, and you forgot to finish the mechanized armor company. Oh dear. I mean, obviously it's not going to matter right away anyways, but you usually want to finish that stuff. Guards now pushing back the MD-42, and that's even without the DP light machine gun. Impressive. Though obviously the machine gun wasn't that great. Contingent pioneers sending eastwards, contact there on the way. Unupgraded though, neither mobilized reserves or the PPS-841. Max and they're being flanked here. In time finding once more round his cut-off on there as Chtholly just keeps striking away. They're hammering off away like in a mad railway worker. Max and they need to get away. Panther Force sitting out there for Chtholly in the 17th SS, which would have been equipped with Stugs. Most Panther grenadiers, despite having one Panther battalion. Those Panther battalions rarely, very rarely in fact, ever contain Panzers. They're usually containing Stugs. Usually Stug 4s, and not Stug 3s. Little fun fact there. I mean, there were cases where they would actually have Panzers for different reasons, but sort of on paper, that was Stugs. Field on the way to 4S, help deal with the Panther, even as the mechanized armor company still stands unfinished. Panther Force setting out there, crashing through walls, clearing up lines of fire to help sort of further pin down around the carve point. Troops in reinforcing. Will the mechanized armor company ever be finished, or would it stand forever not quite ready? Panther 4 roaming about there for Chtholly. Grenadiers setting out, continuing westwards there, close to F-73. Sergey, yes? Look, I can't help but feel, we haven't finished something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Machine moving westwards, Maxim standing about there, ground the center vector point with the conscripts, Panther 4 moving in here. Shoots and misses. Still not finished it. Still not finished it. Maxim knows the MD-42 here, blasting away. Panther 4 on the center here, clearing the conscript, the field gun moving up to the CIS-3. Which was known by the Germans as the Ratschboom because of the sound it made. Big 2 punch fights are 405 versus 325. Chtholly there's a nice lead here versus 4S and the Red Army. And we see in the easting with the consul there. Engineers backed up with Max and Powell pushing for the centre field to try and move up, catching the Panther at the same time. Need to be careful not to get extended. Considering go for more armour. Just briefly checking to see if Chtholly might be considering taking out. Making our stomach company still stands unfinished. Maxim's just going to do see it. Gunners are taking heavy damage. Submachine guns up as well there. Almost got a wipe on the retreating grenadiers. Good use the Maxims though here by Forrest to help counter Chtholly's strand, at least partially. And holy smokes, that was a good hit from the Panther on the Guardsman. Half the squad gone in the blink of an eye. Need to get that Panther out of there. But being battened up, there's not helping it. Oh, lucky shot there for the Panther 4, not for the field gun crew. Gunners back them up here, but they're running straight to the Maxim. Ace-Lev, of course, doing heavy damage here. Hosing down those German infantry, those fascists. Good Soviet-led. And there you go, finally. Forrest finishes the 8th wonder of the world, the mechanized armor company. Max now routed as Gunners flanking in there. Nice work. And it's got the fuel definitely for the K1. Probably can go for it in terms of manpower as well. We'll have to see, of course, how Chtholly handles that one. The proper choice there will be either going for Stugs or trying to take out for Panthers. The wrong choice will be Panther 4s or Ostfinns. I mean, theoretically, you can get enough Panther 4s, you can make it work, but if Forrest supports his K1 properly, it's going to be very, very difficult for Chtholly to pull off. Going for tier 4 there, alright. Could have done that a bit sooner, had it set up all a bit sooner, but you know, I'm not opposed. Now the MG42 as well, which is an interesting choice as well. This was a big counter push there by Forrest and the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps. Foot gunners are being routed heavily by the counter. The submachine guns laying down a hailstorm of fire. In the center, MG42 routed by the Maxim and field gun in the west here. Moving up to secure the point there with an MG42. In fact, committing to triple MG42s? That seems on the hand a bit odd. I mean, it's not like Forrest has that much infantry that I think triple machine guns are needed. I feel like that's a bit much. I mean, Pant's going to use a storm, so I think a better choice. I mean, it could be a misclick there, though. I mean, they are technically kind of close to each other, so maybe that's what happened there for Chtholly, but, you know. I don't think triple MG42s honestly is the right choice here for Chtholly. Of course, I may be missing something out here. Gun use a constant Maxim heading up here. Field gun Maxim heading westwards here. MG42 setting up to cover there. We got 404 versus 271. K1 tank is very close to Forrest. Almost within reach. You can almost feel it. Taste it. But probably not taste it. And if he can taste metal, he might have trouble. Anyways, Panther 4 moving in here. Direct hit from the Chtholly field gun. Fragmentation bombing run in here. On the Maxim. That's down. That's definitely a bit of a loss there for Forrest and the Red Army. K1 is on the way there. Panther 4 falling back here. Gonna need some machine guns to solve the machine gun. The church proving a bit of an issue here. Guardsmen in the dirt here against the Pioneers, but they're taking a lot of damage here from the flamethrowers. Machine gun remains to defend the western point. Field gun moving up. And there you go. Pioneers end up retreating. Also full retreat from the center. Eastern side is able to move ahead here for the German army. Reinforcements healing. K1 halfway done there for 4S. Conscript setting out there. For 4S. Back here, troops reinforcing. K1 on the way. Gonna use versus the engineers. And routed. Then into straight to a mine there and kaboom. Fixing up the Panther 4. Laying down tripwire flare mines. Good work there by Forrest. Could also lay down some fresh sandbags if you wanted to. Seizing the eastern field point here. We got the maximum force there. 15 kills actually. Quite impressive. And we got the K1 out here. The Clement Voroshlov tank. Named after the then Commissar of Armaments. Clement Voroshlov. Who would later then be replaced by Joseph Stalin, leading to the Joseph Stalin tank series. I don't think he just got rid of them though because of that though. I would like tanks named after myself. I will get rid of Clement. Anyways, K1 moving up from the east side. Gunners being caught here with the K1, taking some damage to their maximum hang rate. The Gunners he need to retreat soon. In the centre here, slow push forwards. Field gun hammering away there. 7 kills. Good work of the barracks there by 4S. Heavy Panther co-op can... Well, not far off in terms of fuel for a Panther. Maximum standing about there, of course, noting the Pioneers have been upgraded with a 5th squad member as well. Very nice. Contract flanking 94 to the running some heavy resistance. They're actually 2, of course, meant to can suppress much faster than us, pin them much faster. Go pin down against the ace level, increased lethality. And host down. The Conscripts are forced to rout in the face of such withering resistance. And these Panther 4 going for the maximum. 17 kills on that one. Quite impressive. Though it might find its final moments and about to hit it. There we go, veteran 1, the Panther 4, 14 kills, maximum down to just 2 members. Can they get away? Can they escape the wrath whether they are marked? Yes. The Senegal is pushing forward here, backed up by MD-42s. In the far west, machine gun has to pull out, and there's the K1 arrives. T-Fed force from 6 following in to back up the K1. Good choice there. Of course, Nation 5 could also be good if he wants the Panther hits. Chtholly there, scout the field for sure, but needs the manpower for the Panther Kampfwagen from guards from there, slowing down the Panther 4, trying to bring more forces. Chtholly is moving in assistance as well here. They're going to need most of the fat force being held up by the maximum in the church. A mortar again really could have helped a lot against such a movement here, so I definitely feel like that's a bit of an oversight there with Chtholly, and honestly would have been a choice than the 3rd machine gun. Mortar there instead would have been an excellent choice. Also a bit cheaper manpower wise. T-Fed force from 6 almost done there by Chtholly. 4S striking here while the iron is hot, looking to push Chtholly as far away as possible from the points here. Good move. Chtholly is getting a bit closer to the Panther. Roughly a bit under a minute. 2 minutes. Bit of a minute, actually. Bit of a minute, yeah. Roughly a minute. Grabbing the point here. Tripped by flame lines down. Very good. K1 going for that machine gun in the far west again. Need to get that machine gun out before that is ruined. Going to do this with machine gun support heading eastwards, very good. Instead of just trying to attack forts, of course, still need to recapture that area. They'll probably consider more flank, and again, a mortar could be nice support. Though, of course, with all the reinforcement due to the casualties, there's that not very efficient assault that Chtholly's Panther is delayed, and Chtholly needs that Panther fast, honestly. Most of the K1 is either going for a bunch of stooks, but at that point, Mars will not bother taking up, honestly. Continue eastward movement here. We got 1 depleted guard squad there holding the line. Machine gun needs to get out of there. Chtholly is playing a bit of a dangerous game there with MD-42, to be honest. And there you go, finally actually retreats it. Rather than just trying to hide it away and hope. The Forers, like most babies, lack object permanence. Which is why I could do the whole peekaboo thing, because they generally think you vanish, and that's, I imagine, what Chtholly's hoping that Forers is basically just an otherwise really talented baby, but for some reason again still can't grasp object permanence. Anyway, scouting those the Grenadiers here, more conscripts moving in. Grenade off for the we've got the conscripts charging in the Grenadiers. Can the Grenadiers hold the line? Who knows? We got the more Grenadiers moving in, the machine squads trying to whip support here. There we go, can't go for the Panther now, the Panzer Kampfwagen Fünf, and should do so schnell, post haste. But Panther so far is not forthcoming here for Chtholly. Grenadiers retreating here in the east, MD-42 with the conscripts there, hosing them down with good German lead. Panther 4 needs to get out there fast. Field gun cleared out, great, but where's the Panther, Chtholly? Where's the Panther? Tank 4 setting up. Panther 4 down to half health. Need to get the Panther 4 out there. Reinforcing again, ignoring the Panther. Not good. Nicht good. That's definitely a bit of a blunder there by Chtholly. That is not optimal. More guards from out there for 4S to quickly flesh out the lines and punish the fascists more for existing. But that Panther needs to happen. And just now it's going for more pioneers, having lost the other pioneer squad. Understandable, but by Joe's whiskers. definitely should be happening a bit sooner as well, and just, you know, get that Panther out of there. Because the more, again, this just ends about doing nothing, the more we're wasted really is for Chtholly. That's not good either. Also, one thing I would like to note, there's been no use of Assault and Hope, which I do feel is a shame because it's actually a really strong ability if you sort of use it doing an attack well timed. As you can just quickly line in to do more damage, of course, just seize points faster, which is actually pretty big. So, definitely feel like that's a bit of an oversight there by Chtholly. Panther 4 charging in here. Panther 4 being caught in a crossfire between the T-54 and the K1. Not good there. Almost got the T-54. Pack 40 cleared out. Panther 4 down. Almost got the T-54 from the flare mine. Goes off, killing one grenadier there. Maximum routing other troops here. Might get the T-54 from 6. The question is going to be at what cost here for Chtholly and for Deutschland. Panther fast off here. Might be able to get the maximum out of the way as well. In these machine gun being flanked out there. Good work there by Forrest. Chtholly shouldn't have left the machine gun up for that long there. Machine gun back up here in by the Western victory point. Though this time it's not even defending the point there since, you know, it's Forrest's. Pioneers against the Guardsmen, who are definitely proving to be an obstacle there for them since they do lack the firepower. Back here, troops are reinforcing. Then again, clearly not reinforcing since hopefully Chtholly at this point. Nope, reinforcing after all. So the Panther once more gets delayed. The Panzer Corps is just collecting dust like an Xbox One. Seizing the Western victory point there. Troops reinforcing. On the fire here, maximum hammering away. Machine gun opening up there, grenadiers moving up here. Country's standing about here. Kind of easy with Pioneers support push back the country there. Chtholly's on the war path once more, but will it be enough? And the machine on the ground the point, but exposed itself in a tactical horrific moment there. Losing the ace machine crew there's a big blow to Chtholly, and of course handing it over to Forrest is very big and very bad. Seconds away from the Panther again. Will Chtholly this time remember that the heavy Panzer Corps there, and the Panthers are needed to save Germany? Possibly. There we go, finally. Could have had that out much sooner, and honestly at this point I think that it might be just better not going for it and just pushing out more Panzer Forces. So that ended up not being too good. There was definitely a bit of strategic blunder and can happen with some players, but you know, it's, you know, not good. And certainly I think slightly puts a bit of a blemish there. Otherwise I would say good tactical play this sort of early mid game by Chtholly, that but then unable to really, you know, pull it into some proper armor play there is not good. Not good. And it's been quite costly there for Chtholly, as Forrest has just been able to push back with a single K1 and T-34 from the 6, despite Chtholly theoretically having plenty of option to pull ahead armor-wise, but just never quite getting there. In these conscript units moving up K1 there as well, they're crushing a bit more terrain there for good measure. Panther almost done there for Chtholly. Can Chtholly though master a comeback with the might of the Panzerkampfbangfront? Watch and find out. Grab the cuff on again. The Chtholly cannot give up the disruptive ways ingrained into Chtholly. Gunners bring about to counter on the fire from the G for the free building though. Veteran squad will support the grenadiers here. Other squad retreating. Panther setting up. Their pinlock machine being added. Say good, say good. Laying down tripwire flare mines there. Very good play there as well by Forrest. He's been very consistent about mining and such there, so that's good. K1 setting out. Machine guns joining in. Making it harder there for Forrest to get the Infantry to back up the K1 against the Panther. That's very good, but you know, need to get the Panther shooting at the K1. Got the Sys 3 moving up though. Of course, the maximum at the same time permitting Chtholly from moving Infantry back up the Panther, so this could go either way though, really, depending on how either side handles their stuff. And the West Gunners bring up, we got a maximum there as well. Again, those machine guns are doing quite a good work there. In fact, this is a battle where there's been a lot of machine guns from both sides, and they've certainly done quite a bit of work there on both sides. So that's actually been interesting to know. But again, there's on the hand been absolutely no artillery, except the occasional field gun barrage. Panthers dealing with the maximum start the church, not dealing with the K1. That feels a bit weird, honestly. Could consider calling some stormtroopers here. They should find a way to force up deal with a Panther. Very good move there. Maxim pushed out. Ooh, somehow managed to hit the frontal arm of the Panther despite the rear being towards it. Sometimes the physics engine of Company Heroes 2 is a bit weird. 4 kills in the Panther. Need to be careful about moving about. Should probably call in some stormtroopers just to keep the Panther supported with infantry in case something goes wrong. That doesn't just get swarmed. K1 there down to half health gun is going to support here against the field gun, also keep all the infantry off its back. Chtholly does seem to be mounting a comeback here with the power of the Panther. Need to be careful not to push it too far though. K1 there gaining actually 2 Panther, 14 to come on charge of the base and get stuck inside of it. That would be pretty catastrophic. Main gun out, but there you go. Htholly out here. Chtholly pushed too far. Panther can't get out of there, no smoke. Legends 1 gain. The K1 Max to survive this. Chtholly took the bait. Nicely done there at 4S. Less good for Chtholly, and the Panther is down. A staggering blow there. Practically a knockout blow because now 4S is definitely a big advantage. Chtholly's Panther after so long there and getting to the front line. Didn't last long. Didn't even get the KB1. A shattering blow there. Double off grenade here. Doing some damage. Got the H5 moving just to disrupt the grenades formation. Allowing infantry to get close there. Not a bad move there by 4S. 177 and 223. Machine in the center. Chtholly is, I think, just acting utterly desperately now. Just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And, well, it's not sticking as it turns out. 4S coated the walls in Teflon. The cheeky bastard. Good foresight, though. Stug on the way there. Sadly late, and honestly would have been a much better choice much sooner instead of going then for that heavy Panzer. Going to go for a pair of Stugs, maybe another Panzer von Ostwind, and then just, go to town and Forest that way. But instead, went for a Panther which kept getting delayed, and then, things sort of slowly fell apart. There's Forest was basically able to take advantage of Chtholly's strategic indecision to just pull ahead there with more immediate armour. So, nicely played there by 4S, and again, initially also nicely played by Chtholly, but, kind of a bit of a problem there. Also, well remembered, big thanks to Jacob for pledging on Patreon or upgrading his perks and supporting the mighty Propagandacast. Big thanks to you, you're part of my Company Heroes. There you go, guns being routed. We got the Stug moving in here for Chtholly. Gunnery setting out, machine moving in as well, straight into another machine gun though. This time the Pilfer 1. In fact, he's got a lot of machine guns. He's got 5 machine guns? That's quite a bit of machine gun. 117 versus 223. Ralph getting it off there against the infantry, causing some harm, but overall progress is not being made in great strides here for the German army. H5 just swooping back here, just firing at the infantry. Because why not? Maxim hammering away there, 19 kills, and there you go, Chtholly surrenders. A loss for the German army, a victory for 4S and the Red Army. Again, nicely played on both sides of the early mid-game, but again, Chtholly clearly had to slip up there, sort of mid-game, once it came to, elaborating on the armor strategy there, and that can be something some players struggle on, definitely something to work on there. Had Chtholly just either gotten out of Panther fast, or not tried to bother for the Panther instead, just gone for more Panther Force, maybe Stugs, I think Chtholly would have been in a much stronger position. By the end, there were some slip-ups there, and 4S, of course, while again struggling a bit early mid-game, they was able to capitalise on it. Not early, sort of mid-game, he sort of ran some issues there, but he was still able to see the weakness and capitalise, despite again having suffered massive losses. He was actually bounced back from a very weak position and hit back Chtholly. I mean, a really nice, strong comeback there for 4S, by I mean, definitely good play there. But again, Chtholly kind of left that a bit too open there. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thanks for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Hope to see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.